Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here. It's me, Race2249, or just Race to Win now. Today we're doing a different kind of video. Here, wait one sec. Sorry, I was taking out my retainers. It makes it harder to talk, but... So today we are back here, and we are doing something different. We are doing a little bit different of a video. We are going to be ranking the top 10, or not the top 10. We're just going to be ranking the coasters at Cedar Point, the coaster capital of the world, as they say. So, there are, I believe, 17 we have here that are coasters, I guess we say. We can talk about that later. But, so, we'll get started here, and we'll start off with our first one. Our first one is interesting. Our first one's actually one that's not there yet. Wild Mouse. So Wild Mouse doesn't necessarily exist yet. I don't even know if they've started construction on it, but it is a Zamperla spinner coming to Cedar Point in 2023 as part of the Boardwalk expansion. Now, it's just a spinning coaster. It seems like it's a spinning Wild Mouse, basically, and it doesn't look like it's going to be anything big. It's just going to be called Wild Mouse. Doesn't look like it's going to be anything big, so... I don't know. I've never ridden one of these. I think there's only a few. So I don't know if it's good or bad or what. So we'll just throw it right in the average C tier. Moving on, we have a B&M invert, one of the ones that was made toward the beginning, whenever they'd first been announced and when the B&M inverts first started being popular. Raptor. So Raptor is obviously B&M invert. I believe if 4 inversions, if I remember correctly. Don't credit me on that. Do not credit me on that. I'm not sure. But yeah. Raptor is just a very fun invert. I had a bad ride, I'm not going to lie. My ride was not great. It was really rough. I just don't know if I rode it at the wrong time or picked the wrong seat, but I didn't love it. But I guarantee if I rode it again, it would have been better because Banshee, which is also being a member, is one of my all-time favorites. So I guarantee you if I rode Raptor again in a different seat or anything, just maybe I bet even in the same seat, I guarantee you it would have been better and higher on my rankings. The one ride I had a few months ago was not great, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt and give it A class, A tier. Alright, so for our next coaster, we have, this one's going to be a no-brainer. Next coaster, we have Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, a 2018 RMC hybrid conversion of the Din Wooden roller coaster Mean Streak. So, this thing obviously supposedly has the record for the most airtime in the world. It's an extraordinarily smooth coaster, and is basically confirmed to be the best coaster in the world. I'm not sure about Iron Gwazi, it might be better, not sure. But as of now, Steel Vengeance still has that title, so obviously this goes straight to S class. Okay, so now we have actually something small. We have Woodstock Express, I believe it's a Vekoma kiddie coaster, or it's not a kiddie coaster, it's a family coaster. I mean, it's not crazy tall. It has a drive tire lift. It's okay. I mean, it does its purpose. It's a good transition from Wilderness Run to maybe next steps up probably Cedar Creek Mine Ride or Gemini. But yeah, it does its job. I mean, it's okay. I would ride it again if I had time. I mean, it's fun, especially if you're with people who aren't really into stuff like that. So we're gonna put it pretty high for a kiddie coaster. I'm putting it at B class. Next up, we have Wilderness Run. So, this coaster I might have ridden it a few years ago, but I'm not actually 100% sure about that, so it's not on my credit list. It's possible I rode it, but I'm not sure, so I didn't put it there. Last time we went, I didn't have a kid to ride with, so I did not ride it. Even though some people in my party did, I did not. So, Wilderness Run is actually Intamin's very first roller coaster. It's very small. It only goes 6 miles an hour. But it was the first roller coaster manufactured by Intamin, which is a very, very popular manufacturer nowadays. So, this is hard for me because I obviously haven't ridden it. It's slow. It's not tall. The track bends like crazy, so we're just going to put this in D tier. It does its job for a kiddie coaster, but we're not really looking at that. We're just looking at, so we'll put it there. Next up, we have Valraven. So, Valraven is a B&M dive coaster that I believe was 2015. Don't credit me on that. Do not credit me. I know it holds some records in the dive coaster category. I'm not 100% sure which ones, but it does have that going for it. But I mean, I'm not really into dive coasters. I mean, it's just holding brake, drop, inversion or two, another holding brake, drop, and it's over. I'm not really a fan of them. I mean, they're okay. The best part's the first drop, but Valraven has those restraints that don't really let you get that much airtime. So we will put this on B tier. Okay, next up, we have Rougarou, the floorless conversion of the old stand-up Mantis, a B&M. It's a floorless. There's nothing special about it. I mean, few inversions. I mean, it's not really forceless. It's not rough, but it's not really crazy smooth either. It's okay. Not going to complain about it, but I'm not going to praise it either. Average C. All right, next up we have Millennium Force, the world's first Giga coaster, manufactured by Intamin as well. Like I said, Intamin makes some pretty big stuff. So we have Millennium Force. I've been to Cedar Point twice, very recently, as a coaster enthusiast. And I have not ridden Millennium Force. Yell at me all you want. First time, I was too scared. That was whenever I was just starting to get into coasters. Second time, I don't have that excuse, but I do have a excuse. So the line was at least 2 hours all day, and it was broken down for most of the day. So I was not able to ride it. We got rides on basically everything else except that and a few other things. So I don't have any personal first-hand experience with this. But I know it's some people's second favorite in the park, their favorite in the park. So I'm just going to give this the benefit of the doubt of being extremely fast, and I feel like it is forceful. I know some people call it Millennium Forceless, but I have a feeling it is forceful. So we're going to give this the benefit of the doubt and put it in A tier. All right, so next up we have my favorite coaster ever, Maverick. So Maverick is a 2007 Intamin Blitz, another Intamin, I know. 2007 Intamin Blitz, 105 feet tall, steeper than straight down vertical drop, 95 degrees. This ride is insane. It's very intense, probably the most intense ride at the park, maybe, I'm going to say. Great launch. It's the most powerful LSM launch I've ever experienced, obviously. It's just a really great ride overall. I love it. It's my favorite. I have it over Steel Vengeance, but so yeah, this is going straight to S class, or S tier, my bad. Next up, we have Magnum XL 200. So Magnum XL is the original hypercoaster. First coaster to break 200 feet by Aerodynamics in 1989, I believe. This coaster is really fun. It's still relatively smooth. I mean, some people don't like it. Obviously, the profiling is not great because it's an aero. It's got the janky aero transitions. But just because of how popular this ride is and how much I love this ride, it's just so classic and it's still so fun. Don't yell at me, but S tier. I'm sorry, but it's my opinion. Next up, we have another aerodynamics coaster, or air development, whatever it was during that time. Iron Dragon. This time it's a suspended coaster. It's Iron Dragon. One of their suspended coasters. Iron Dragon's okay. It's probably a good, it definitely plays a part in the park as a stepping stone coaster, I guess you could say. It would go from Wilderness Run to Woodstock Express to maybe Cedar Creek Mine Ride, Iron Dragon, Gemini, and then so on and so on. Probably about that. It's not crazy fast, but it does have some cool elements. The parts over the water is pretty cool. It goes through trees and woods. It's fun. I'll give this C class. It's average. I mean, it does its job. All right, next up, we have Gemini. So Gemini is another aero development coaster, aerodynamics, aero development, whatever you want to call it. Aero Haas, actually, for a part. This is one of the, if not, it's a dueling hypercoaster, basically. It's got metal track, wood structure. Gemini is such a fun ride. Like, the only thing that kills it is it's got slow transitions around those corners, slow turnarounds. But it's just such a good ride. It's so fun. I would ride it over and over. It's relatively smooth. The brake run does hurt. It's just a hard brakes into the station. But besides that, it's such a great ride. So fun. B tier. Next up, we have Gatekeeper, which is a B&M wing. It is also one of the relatively new additions to the park. Gatekeeper is a very, very fun coaster. The wing over drop is really fun. The only thing is, it doesn't pull many forces. I mean, it's crazy fun, but it's not one of the intense coasters of the park. I would ride this. I did marathon this, actually, but yeah, I rode it a lot. It's great. I mean, I love it. Close to one of my favorites, but not quite, so we're going to give this B tier as well. Next up, we have Corkscrew, an aerodynamics looper from the 70s. It's an aero looper. Sorry, I'm just really congested right now. It's an aero looper, so, I mean, what are you going to do about it? It's obviously a bit rough, but some people look past it. I can look past it. I like it. It wasn't that great the first time. I didn't get to ride it last time, but I know if I rode it again, I would like it more. It's just a classic. Unfortunately, it's most likely this is probably going to be Cedar Point's next coaster to go. But unfortunately, yeah. But I really would like this ride to stay. It was the first roller coaster to break 3 inversions. So we'll just throw this up here as C class. That might be a little high for some of you people, but that's where I'm putting it. So these are all my opinions. So yeah. Next up, we have Cedar Creek Mine Ride. So Cedar Creek Mine Ride is another aerodynamics coaster. It's an aerodynamics mine train that goes over some water. It has very, very janky transitions, and it's just not that fast. It's slightly rough. It is actually technically a hybrid, even though it's a mine train. It's technically a hybrid, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, but it's not very good. This is also one of the stepping stone coasters, but I'm putting this down here in D class with Wilderness Run. Just nothing special at all. So second to last, we have Blue Streak, a PTC, or Philadelphia Toboggan Company, wooden roller coaster. This is the oldest operating coaster in the park. It's by the entrance. It's just a big out and back layout. Not that big, not that tall, not that fast. This was the first coaster I ever rode at Cedar Point. It hurt. I did not like it very much. I can look past it because it's just a classic wooden roller coaster, and obviously I want to ride it again. But it's definitely not a favorite of any sort. So it's average, I would say. So we'll just throw that C class. Or C tier, my bad. Last but not least, we have something that I do not consider a roller coaster. This is a flat ride. Pipe Scream. I'm sorry, it's a flat ride. I know Cedar Point classifies this as a roller coaster on their website, but F tier. This is not a roller coaster. So, yeah. So there is our rank. So so yeah, that's our final ranking. So in S tier, we have Magnum XL 200, Maverick, and Steel Vengeance. Down to A tier, we have Raptor and Millennium Force. Down in B tier, we have Gatekeeper, Woodstock Express, Valraven, and Gemini. Down in C tier, we have Corkscrew, Iron Dragon, Rougarou, Wild Mouse, Blue Streak. And the Wild Mouse one may very well change whenever it actually opens. Down in D tier, we have Cedar Creek Mine Ride and Wilderness Run. And then in F tier, we have Pipe Scream, because that is not a roller coaster. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck around this long, I hope you enjoyed. These are just what I believe and what are my opinions on the roller coasters of Cedar Point. So obviously Cedar Point is a great park with some world-class roller coasters. All of these are good. None of them are bad. The only one that's actually bad is Cedar Creek Mine Ride, in my opinion. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, tell me. And I will see you guys next time.